Hey everybody, it's James and welcome back to the channel. I decided to do a tiny race this time as part of the Z series. I've been seeing people talk about how it's like the best workout. I'm going to be honest, it kind of scared me. But before we get into that, a couple of things. So a few people suggested in the comments that I add the drafting gauge from Sauce for Zwift. So I got on Sauce for Zwift first of all, which was a bit of a learning curve. But that's an epic platform. You donate to his Patreon, and you've got access to all kinds of cool data during your training, during your racing, on screen, off screen, whatever you want, really. Fully customizable. 10 out of 10 recommend. I'll link that in the description below. Other things, my racing score is a 496 right now before the race. At the end of this race, we'll see that it did go up. So I think this is going to be my last race in Cat C, or at least within that racing score range, because we did get bumped up. I also did a weigh-in after the holidays, and anyway, we're at 78 kilos. There was a lot of drinking, there was a lot of eating. I had my family in town for the first time in a few years, this side of the Atlantic in Paris. So I really just let go and had some fun. But anyway, that's going to hurt on all the climbs. I'm at 78 kilos, so we'll see how that all goes. And lastly, about 3 weeks ago, I fell off my bike, which I tend to do about twice a year. It was my birthday, and I was like, let's go on a ride, except it was super wet out. It was like 0 degrees. I was all by myself out in the back roads, and slipped in a turn going way too fast. So anyway, both my wrists, both my hands, still feeling weak and still feeling like I gotta recover. Don't have a lot of grip strength. So anyway, that made me nervous about these sprints. And as you'll see, they weren't the best sprints I've ever done. I'm still trying to figure out the sprints. Gah. But as always, we're here for a good workout and have some fun and see if we can't get better at this game called Zwift. Let's jump in. Okay, I'm going to put these all in hyperspeed because if not, this video is going to be like 50 minutes long. Okay, so tiny race number 1 is fine and sandy. It's about 7 kilometers with a small climb in the beginning. So as with most races, I'm expecting things to really go off at that little climb. So I'm just trying to conserve energy until we get there, give it everything I got, try and recover, and then this is going to finish in a sprint. And lo and behold, the racers had another idea. And so I basically wound up doing above threshold the entire race. I wound up averaging 4.1 watts per kilo on this first little race. And so that was really stressing me out for the rest. But anyway, here we come to the little pinch climb. And as you can see, I'm sending like 5 watts, 6 watts per kilo. I'm going off the front, but of course I've seen in these races that like things can split apart here, and you can see on the little mini map that they have already split apart. So I just really always get nervous that I'm going to get dropped and not be in the lead group, at which point my race is not over because I can still get a good workout in, but my chances of getting a good finish leave with the front group if I'm not in it. After surviving the climb, we have a reduced group, but there still seem to be a lot of riders up here with me, and so we're just trying to take advantage now of this new draft gauge. You can see we're doing 150 watts of economy in the pack on the flat, which is great because if I had to do 150 more, I'd be dying. I still find like we're doing a ton of watts. We're like high zone 3, low zone 4. I'm trying to take advantage as much as possible of the draft. The gauge is up to 200 on the flat now. I'm loving that, honestly. Sometimes I drift up to the front, and I'm still not sure why that happens. I did set my trainer difficulty up to 100, and as somebody mentioned in the comments on my last video, and honestly, I kind of like the feel of that. Maybe I wouldn't like that if I was doing Alpe d'Huez. But on these little races, at least you can really feel the differences in incline and decline, and pedal accordingly. Okay, so yeah, coming into the sprint here, we're under 1 kilometer. I'm trying to keep my heart rate as low as possible, but still keep my power a little bit high, because as it's been suggested to me, I should have a decent amount of speed to try and hop on the draft of the sprinters that go first. So that's why I've already popped up to like 500 watts here before we're seeing red on the chart and people sprinting. 400 meters out, maybe a little bit long. There you can see my awkward little throw the arrow boost on, because I started sprinting and forgot that I had the arrow boost. And then we throw it down, give it everything we got, and try and do the best finish, all while trying to maintain some energy for the next 3 sprints or 3 races, which is a little weird to have to deal with. And that's a P8 for your boy. Pretty happy with that. It's a mega field. There are a lot of racers. And now there's just a few minutes to recover and got to hit race number 2. All right, just a few minutes to drink up and recover before the next race. And so I'm just going to jump on in so we get going with this. But it's basically the same race, but inversed. At least that's how I saw it. We got the climb towards the end this time. 7 kilometers on the Two Bridges loop. Things start out kind of like the first race. We're just giving megawatts. Everybody's packed up. It's a bit of a bumpier ride on this parkour for this second race. Again, I'm just getting the hang of this drafting gauge. I've got is it the anvil? Is it the weight thing? Which I'm assuming is going to be for the downhill at the end of our climb before the sprint. So we'll hang on to that until the end. Because this is a bumpier parkour, I don't feel like I handled the drafting as well. I just feel like I keep yo-yoing to the front and then a little bit more mid-pack, but then I'm right back to the front again. Or at least the numbers on the draft aren't as high. Yeah, see, like right there. Okay, I'm going to jump forward to the climb where things get a little bit more interesting. So the group is still pretty much everyone, and the climb's coming up right here, and my heart rate's super high, and so it made me really nervous because I didn't feel like I was going to have like 6 watts per kilo for the entire climb. So I started off a little bit easy. I gave it 6 watts for a second there, but then had to back off because my heart rate is already super up there. And then everybody just starts cycling away from me, and I was like, no, come back. Get this guy already using his anvil there. But there I am in 18th position, and the sprint's only 1.5 kilometers away with the downhill. So in my mind, I'd already kind of lost the race, which may or may not have been true. You guys will have to let me know in the comments. But as you'll see here, I didn't even manage to really get a decent sprint. I was in 15th position, 14th, 12th. I have nothing in the legs, like I'm doing zone 2. This is horrible. 10 minutes of racing to hit the finish line at zone 2. Ah, jeez. I've got like 0 draft. There's nobody in front of me. There it goes, hits 0. I'm struggling to do anything above threshold. I hold it for a few seconds here. So I guess this tiny race is just survival of the fittest. Whomever can do the climb, and oh no, I'm getting passed by more people. So there I go from 13th all the way back to 6th, 17th place. And I'm at VO2 max and I've got nothing more. I'm just giving it everything I've got. And in my head, I still have 2 more races. Some of you may recognize, but this is the sprint from my last video. So I know this sprint. You turn right here, and then theoretically I'm supposed to go at the bridge or a little bit before. So like right about now. And I guess we're just going to ride all the way to the finish line at this power. I'm standing up and I still have nothing more to give. 6 watts per kilo. That's like what we give on the climbs. It's like nothing to do with a sprint. And so I decided that I would just sit down and just try and grind this out. And maybe everyone's feeling exactly like I am. And so there I finished 13th place on this one. Definitely not throwing a party for this result. But it is 4 races and it's on points, so I'm just trying to do the best I can across all 4 races, and maybe everyone else was doing the same. So 13th place on the second race. Let's hop into the third one. Okay, so you know the drill. Drink up, try and get the heart rate down, recover. We've got a couple of minutes, and we're jumping into the third one. So the third race is one I was really excited about because it's a great example of how good of a workout these things are. Because basically we're doing a flat recovery ride. Lols, recovery ride at threshold. We're doing it's kind of flat until we get to our last effort, which is just a climb to the finish. And to my surprise, we do actually settle into a kind of a zone 2, low zone 3 kind of ride for the first few kilometers until we get to that climb. And I, like everybody, really appreciated that. Oh, and I love this parkour. I really enjoy going into the metro. Where are we? We're in London, yeah. The London Loop reverse. I don't know. I remember training years back when I was first started training on Zwift. I really enjoyed this little parkour through the London Underground. But anyway, here we get to the climb. And in my mind, I saw like a kilometer and a half of climbing. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. It'll be a few minutes. Turns out it was 4.5 minutes for me. It was 4.5 minutes at 350 watts average. which I hadn't anticipated in my mind as I started doing this climb. So I started kind of doing 400 watts, which is more like 5 watts per kilo, and then about halfway, my legs started burning. I was like, "Oh no, you can't hold this, my guy. You're gonna blow up. You're gonna blow up," and that would be very embarrassing because a small slice of the whole world is watching. By the way, guys, I just wanted to say how much fun this has been making these videos and getting into YouTube and what the little interruption to my roommate. But yeah, I feel like it's making me a better cyclist, and I'm enjoying producing these things, rewatching the videos, really analyzing my efforts, and reading and interacting with everybody in the comments has just brought me so much knowledge and so much new stuff, new information that I never would have had. And there I am dying, but I managed to get 10th place on this climb. It really hurt. My heart rate was really high. I gave it kind of like a maximal effort, and so emptied the tank, which of course, you guessed it, made me nervous for the next race. So actually, the 10th place on the last race turned into a 7th place. I'm not exactly sure. I looked everywhere. So maybe some people were not supposed to be in this race, and they were just, overpowered, and their final counts got erased. But anyway, I'll take it. So I'm counting that at P7 on the climb. And now we're jumping into the 4th race here, which I am calling the roller coaster. That is to say 7 kilometers on Douce France, or Douce France, not to be mistaken with Douche France, which is just taking a shower over here, which they do from time to time. Anyway, back to why we're all here. So I'm expecting this to kind of hurt because now we've been racing for like 30, 40 minutes. We've had a lot of intensities, a lot of long climbs, a lot of sprints. And so again, I'm back to focusing on the pack and trying to minimize my effort, so maximize my draft effect. And on this race, looking at my numbers afterwards, I actually did the best. I'd say probably the best out of all the races that I've done, which is only about a handful. But yeah, I wound up at 3.7 watts per kilo at the end of this race, which for like a rolling thing and a sprint is not bad. The first 3 races, I did 4.1, 4.0, and 4.0. So seeing 3.7 at the end of the race, I was pretty happy with that. There I'm hanging at the back. I'm really just giving as little as possible. Starting to more and more trust that I won't get popped off the back, and that if I'm close to that, I can just give it a bit of a boost of power, and maybe that's more efficient in the long run. And I should be doing that every race. So yeah, let me hop over to the final sprint of this tiny race series, race number 4. Okay, inside 500 meters, I'm trying to apply everything that I've learned. So there I am, like mid-deep pack, or at least there are a lot of riders in front of me. I'm drafting a ton and trying to not jump too soon, not be nervous. You see I pop up there. I'm at like 400 watts, thinking that I just want to keep my pace up and be ready to jump if I need to jump. And the time is now. I'm seeing the red light up on the screens. And honestly, inside 200 meters felt really, really late, but maybe that's because everybody's tired. But anyway, it worked out pretty well. Maybe if I had jumped sooner, I don't know. But this is one of my best sprint finishes, maybe my best. Yeah, I think this is my best. Anyway, I got 6th place. But yeah, I feel like if I had jumped a little bit sooner, I might have passed a few more people because it looked like in the video that I had good pace. So maybe I could have gone a little bit sooner and done a little bit better. But then again, everybody keeps telling me not to go too soon and to wait and react to other people. And so I don't know, we've got some mixed information there. Let me know what you think. What I really love about these tiny races is that, of course, you have 4 races, and so you have 4 times to analyze and 4 efforts and 4 different parkours. And what's cool is it's all the same people. But anyway, at the end, since it's on points, you get a result. And I had no idea that I was doing well because I did 6th, 13th on that second sprint that I totally failed, and then 7th on the climb, and then 6th on this last sprint. First race I was 8th, so 8, 13, 7, and 6. And so for me, I was like, all right, cool. Like I kind of did the average. I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe I got like 8th, 9th place. Which is kind of what I've tend to be doing in this racing score category. And lo and behold, I got 4th on points. So really proud of that. This is my first tiny race series. I'm definitely going to do another one, but not right away. That really hurt. And it took a lot of mental energy because it's 4 different races, 4 different strategies. But anyway, got 4th on points. My racing score went from 496 all the way up to 517. And then I did a little race with the team the following week, last week, and that went up even higher. So now my racing score is 524. It's official. There are no more questions of whether or not I'm in Cat C. I am not in Cat C anymore. So I'm really excited to next race do a Category B race and see what that's all about. I have a feeling that it's going to be really difficult. Maybe I'm like mid-pack or something like that. The only thing that I'm disappointed in, honestly, is that I will never be winning a Cat C race. I never got a podium. I never won a race. So yeah, I guess that's Zwift racing. We're in it for the workout and the attempt. But yeah, anyway, 4th place on points is a victory. Thanks for listening. Ride on, and I'll catch you on the next one.